Hello everyone and welcome back to Dragonriders, a Song of the Damned. I'm hyper aware of the fact there's a lozenge in my mouth and my voice sounds weird now, but it's because I've got a sore throat, and immediately I started talking like I'm a dungeon master and went, I sound weird. So,
I thought it was just my headphones.
nope, there's like a chunk right here in my mouth because I'm sucking on a lozenge. I do be doing the
Hamster
suck.
time.
Yeah. We are joined as always by Samo, who plays Moog. Damn, I didn't throw him off that much. Damn. Alex, who plays Luft. Tommy, who plays Sorrows. And Calum, who plays Agis. And Calum's cat, who plays the devil on his shoulder.
Very persuasive.
Last session, we kind of just dealt with the aftermath of you guys finishing your raid on the Mage's Tower. You have got a bunch of new magic gear. I don't think you've finished like identifying and attuning to it all, but you have a bunch of new magic gear. So Agis has his new robe where he can throw stars at people, you know, classic. I think you bought the Frostbrand short sword last session as well, didn't you?
Yes.
Yeah. I was gonna say that's new, but I don't think you found it. Sorrows has a new legendary greatsword that also is sentient, so that's a thing that he's gonna have to deal with.
And evil.
We don't know this.
We do. You literally told us.
Not just because I said it was neutral evil doesn't mean he's evil, you know. He's neutral evil.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Keyword there being neutral.
Yeah.
Keyword being evil.
No, that's not a keyword. That's just a word.
Yeah. But people
It's just a word.
Evil's really a matter of perception, you know? Like, you know, we're gonna sit here and say that Ozmore's evil, you know?
Yeah, why are we even fighting them?
I mean,
Are we the
cost-effective
baddies?
they're cost effective with their workers. We're just
Cost effective with their workers. That's the worst thing I've ever heard.
Soros also has the Iron Bands of Bolaro, which had a werebear inside. It's basically a Pokeball. You can throw it at things and it can trap them. So yeah.
Sick.
But I'm just checking something real quick. Lol. Okay. Moog got a brand new mace by the name of Fairy Moon.
It's a polearm.
It's also a mace.
Is it?
Yeah, I know it says it's a spear, but it's not really a spear. It's just a long mace. Anyways.
Yeah, I knew that.
And also an enduring spell book.
True.
And
by the way, we did say I can use that, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's not just a wizard thing? Yeah, okay.
And then Luft has the Dragon Wing light crossbow, the armor of safeguarding, and then also was gifted by Shirigane the Bonsai's Bockham. So yeah, bunch of new magic gear. And you then did some shopping. You went and bought and sold some stuff. A lot of it of the magical variety or the potion variety. And then towards the end of the session, we had Moog transform into a eagle. No, you didn't transform into an eagle, did you? We used an eagle, but you transformed into a sparrow. To go and spy on the king's camp nearby, because the king is about to invade Oris. So, you got the tea. Do you remember what the tea was, or do you want me to remind everyone?
I know that there are those people that prepare, and that there's a messenger that's going to go to Oris to like talk to us, I presume, and a commander, I think is the word they used, from Arzamor is gonna be there also in like an hour time from the time I listened to them, basically. Yeah. That's basically all I remember. I don't think there was more, but maybe there was.
That's basically it. I'm also trying to crunch this lozenge because I'm sick of it being in my mouth right now.
Yeah, that's fine.
Tastes like aniseed as well. I'm not a fan. Cool. Yeah, that's basically it. So, I'm assuming, having finished your spying job, you fly back to Oris?
Yes, I will.
Alrighty. What do you do when you get to Oris?
Depends. I've been to the potion store before. How long do I know is the walk from the potion store to the palace?
40 minutes?
Okay, that should still be fine. Yeah, I'll go there first. I'll fly there.
Okay.
And I'll do some shopping.
Is there a stable here, by the way?
At the palace, or
Just in general?
there will absolutely be stables in the city. Yeah, there'll probably also be palace stables. I don't know why I asked for clarify. So, yes.
Will they have horses?
Oh, you want to buy a horse?
Well, I'm not thinking necessarily about buying a horse. I'm just thinking if we were like going into battle and people were to need horses for battle, would there be any?
You can't handle my strongest horses.
I think we still have our own horses, right?
So you have Aegis's horse,
yeah, we have
Gion's
those.
horse, Sora's horse, and Dai's horse. So somewhere along the way, and Kypheria's horse. So Zila, her horse has been gone to the wind for a while now.
Sad days.
And then
Shaq would never be parted from the ruined.
Shaq has indeed left with the ruined. Moog and Neurixius never got their own horses, but you do also have two other mounts in the form of Jensen's Griffin.
Yeah.
I am the mount.
Moog can let someone ride him, and
Also milk. Oh, man.
and Celeste has his dragon. So you got a couple of mounts between you. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You got 8 mounts if we include Moog. Between 1, 2, if we remove Moog from that count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So 8 mounts across 11 people.
That's not too bad.
Indeed.
But yeah, if you wanted to go and
How
buy
long
other mounts, then yes, you could probably do that.
how long would it take on horse to get from like here to their camp?
Half an hour. All right, Moog, you're buying potions then? Or selling
Yes.
stuff?
Okay. I'll buy this. Fuck, I have to do the whole backpack shit. 1 second.
Okay, well,
I'll.
while someone does
Oh,
that,
yeah?
do we think we should try and get a sponsorship with Bad Dragon?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, just based on this, campaign
Yeah, sure.
title.
For next season. Okay, I'll buy this and then I'll basically put twice as much money on the table. And then I'll ask him, are there any potions that you might not be allowed to sell openly? And I'll just slide over the other 200 gold.
So, hold on, sorry, you want the illegal shit, basically?
I want to ask him if he has a second stock, I guess. That he's
If
not.
he has the goods.
Yes.
Who are you currently shopping with? Sorry.
The merch, the potion seller, the shadows, sun and shadow concoctions.
All right. Roll me a persuasion check.
You'll get advantage because I give him 200 gold.
Sure.
Cool.
Okay. Now roll me a luck roll.
That's a flat d20, right?
Mm-hmm.
Pretty good.
Pretty good.
Not bad.
Don't give me the correct cocaine. It just made me addicted. It's your fault. Yeah, you don't act all smug up there. I see.
What do you mean?
I have this. They say, and they lean underneath the counter and they pull out a small spherical flask of a purple liquid. As they move it around, this bone white smoke emanates from the liquid, being contained within the bottle. And they place it on the counter and say, "This is known as poison of plague."
Never heard of it.
Well, any creature that makes physical contact with the original target. So basically, you target a creature, and then any creature that makes a physical contact with the poisoned creature could become infected with the same plague. After a creature becomes infected, they begin to leak bright-colored pus from their eyes and start vomiting. This will slowly start to kill them. It lasts a
How
week,
much would
and the infected can be cured of any magic that would cure a disease or a decent medical treatment.
how much would that cost me?
1,450 gold pieces.
I'll consider it as long as you don't have anything different that enhances my own abilities. Anything that makes me strong.
You wanted the under-the-counter stuff. The under-the-counter stuff tends to be the stuff that is illegal. And potions to boost your own capabilities are perfectly legal.
Fair enough. In that case, sure. I'll part my money with that. 1,400, you said?
1,450.
150. Okay.
Samo not just hearing what he wants to hear. Challenge impossible.
Yeah. Yeah, I removed the money.
Alright, putting it in your inventory now. Have fun with your new poison.
Hell yeah.
Some extra stuff that she wouldn't be able to explain in character, so I'll just relay this information to you. So again, it's 1 week. Is the duration. It's an ingested poison, so you make sure that the target ingests the poison, and then they become a vector for disease. So anyone who then touches the diseased creature gets diseased. Technically, the person who ingests it isn't technically gonna die from it. So you could drink it yourself and make yourself the vector for disease if you wanted to. Any creature that makes physical contact with the original target must make a DC 15 Constitution saving throw or become infected. As I've said, they start leaking pus from their eyes and they start vomiting. They gain the poison condition and they take 1d8 poison damage every 24 hours. And the maximum hit points are reduced by the same amount. The infected
It
can
lasts
be...
a week, you said, right?
It lasts a week, so, you
Okay.
know...
Yeah, yeah, I see. I see
If
where this
you
is
rolled
going.
an 8 on each 1d8 7 times, that would be, what, 56?
56? Yeah.
So if someone has less than 56 health, that could kill them. But otherwise, it would just massively enfeeble them if they don't get it sort of within a week. However...
Actually, a crazy thing for like a monk to run in like a big battle. Just run around punching people.
And it can be cured by, as I say, any magic that would cure a disease, or by a DC 13 intelligence medicine check. But that is a extended medicine check. So what that means is that over the course of one day, you would have to do 3 intelligence medicine checks and roll a 13 or higher. A 13 or higher to pass the check.
Okay.
And then you'd need to get a total of 13 points over 13, if that makes sense.
Okay,
So like
yeah.
if you rolled
I
a
get it.
15, you'd get 2 points. If you rolled an 18, you'd
Yeah.
have 5 points, etc., etc. So it's not the easiest thing to do.
Okay, I just want to make this completely clear. Sorry, I'm asking so many questions. So as soon as it's like in someone's body, it touches enough.
Touches enough, but it's an
But
hour
it first
later
has
that
to be that like put into someone basically
it has to be
via
ingested.
cut, via swallowing, whatever.
No, not by a cut. Ingested. It has to be in the
Oh.
digestive system.
Oh, okay.
It's
All
not.
right, yeah.
It's
All right,
yeah.
yeah.
There are different types of poison, like poison type. You've got contact, which is just touch. Ingested, which is ingested, so in the digestive system. Inhaled, so basically a gas. And injury, which is when you like coat a weapon and then cut someone with it. So whenever you're dealing with poisons, there is a very specific way that it infects the person.
All right, perfect.
But yeah, because it doesn't actually hurt the person who is ingested with it, as I say, you can technically drink it yourself and then just use it on other people. The thing is, it still lasts a week on you, and it is anyone who touches you. So, you know, you could drink it, and then Luft comes up to you and is like, bro, that was nice. He, like, grabs you, gives you a nice little bro hug, and then suddenly, an hour later, Luft is just, like, on the floor vomiting with pus leaking out of his eyes.
But I mean, at that point, I will already be leaking out of my eyes and shit.
No. Again,
so...
you don't...
Oh, I don't get any of the negatives.
You would basically be the carrier.
Yeah, you are patient 0, but no one knows that you're patient 0, is the idea.
All right, yeah, perfect, nice.
Because the way it's kind of intended is, like, theoretically, you could, like, poison a member of the royal family, whatever, and then, like, weaken all of the court, just because they won't know that they're infected, is the idea. In fact, you wouldn't even have to poison the king, would you? You could poison the fucking jester or whatever.
All right, I misunderstood at the start. I'm really happy that he didn't give me anything else. That's...
Yeah.
All right, yeah, nice. I'll gladly be taking that.
Yeah, bit of a spenny one, but, you know, pretty cool.
Oh, wow. Shit's gonna... I already have an idea for...
And again, it is hit point maximum, and to be clear, when hit point maximum gets reduced in such a way, because sometimes rules in D&D says it's like temporarily impacts your hit point maximum. If it just says it impacts your hit point maximum, that is permanent. If you then treat that and fix it so that they're no longer poisoned, whatever hit point maximum they lost is still lost forever.
That is fucking...
Yeah, so you could potentially... Again, you'd have to roll an 8 on every single dice roll, but if someone was infected for a full week, you could reduce their hit point maximum forever by 56 hit points. You could take a BBEG with 200 hit points and be like, actually, you've got 150 now. Fuck you.
Yeah. That's the good shit. All right, yeah, I'm happy with that.
Or over the course of a week, you could reduce the hit point maximum by 7. You know, it could go either way, but...
Sure, but... That's still funny, so yeah, that's fun. I'm happy with that, yep.
Alright. While Moog's doing that, what's everyone else up to?
I was doing some shit in the library.
What shit were you doing in the library?
Well, first thing first, I wanted to make some potions.
Okay.
But also, I'm going to be working on something. That's something being. An idea being, I'm good with alchemical bullshit and making potions. And recently, I've been gifted with magical blood thanks to the ruined.
Mm-hmm.
So why can't I use my magical blood as an ingredient?
There's no reason why you can't. What are you hoping to get out of it?
Well, hello, cat. That's
You're not going to
basically
be able
the
to create a cat out of it. I'm sorry, I'm not giving you a
no,
homunculus.
no. That's the theory I have basically for my mutagens.
Okay,
If you see what I mean.
gotcha.
So I'll also be working on that. While I'm doing it. And then at some point during and/or the start of the long rest, I
Why
would
would
like
you say
to.
that name?
Huh?
Why would you say that name?
What?
No spoilers yet. Goddamn.
I mean, I don't think it's a spoiler to be like, hey, in Rogue One, a certain thing happens to the main character from a certain prequel TV show.
I haven't seen.
I know,
Rogue One yet.
but you're stirring up emotions.
Anyway, I want to grab. Who would I want to grab for this? I'd like to ask Kytheria and who else? Me and Celeste are pretty sure right now, so I'll grab him as well.
Okay.
But anyone else can do whatever they want to do because I'm gonna have to make these potions in the meantime.
Okie doke. Alright, Sarahs, what are you up to?
About that? Actually, no. I would like to go down to the prison and talk to the Inquisitor.
Okie doke.
I apologize in advance for everything that's going to come up on screen.
Apologize this. Alright. You go down and you speak to the Inquisitor then.
Now, how do you interpret the read thoughts spell, Pete? And by that I mean, do they know I'm reading their thoughts, or do they not?
Read thoughts is not a spell. What are you thinking of? Mind reading? Is that what it's called or something?
Let me see what it's called. Detect thoughts, sorry.
Detect thoughts. If you probe deeper, the target must make a wisdom saving throw. If it fails, you gain insight into its reasoning, if any, its emotional state, and something that looms large in its mind, such as something. If it succeeds, the spell ends. Either way, the target knows that you are probing into its mind, and unless you shift your attention to another creature's thoughts, the creature can use an action on its turn to make an intelligence check contested by your intelligence check. If it succeeds, the spell ends. So basically, when you initially cast it, they are not aware that defenses are down. Unless they, like, I guess, see you cast a spell or what have you and know what it is. But as soon as you start probing, they will know. And then they can start trying to fight against it.
Okay.
And it does have a verbal and semantic part to it. So you have to say a word and do a gesture to cast it.
All right. Sorry, scratch me going down yet. Then, I will go and grab Agis, Moog. I nearly said the ruin then because of your Discord.
So Moog's not here, and
Yeah, I was about to ask something.
Agis is
there.
making potions, so you're gonna have to go talk to him and try and convince him to do whatever you want him to do.
Yeah, and I'll grab Luft as well.
Pretty sure last we left off, Lift was out and about in town.
You can be
Was.
back now if you want to be, because this is like after Moog did his spying on.
Then yeah, sure, I'll be about then. Yeah.
After Moog was a peeping Tom.
That's me.
Alright. So yeah, you can recruit Luft for whatever you're doing. And then yeah, as I say, Agis is making his potions, so.
Agis.
Okay, so you're probably going to walk in on Agis doing some blood experiments, so he's probably not going to be looking very sane right now.
Okay.
I'm a little
Are you-
busy.
Are you openly doing blood experiments? Or are you trying to like play it down?
Well, there's probably like, I don't know, a needle in my arm and some bullshit going on.
Should I ask?
You can ask.
What are you doing?
Is it not obvious?
I don't know. I'll roll insight. No.
You know, just things and stuff, experiments.
Very well. Listen, time is running short. I'm curious. If you could ask our friend downstairs, the Inquisitor, and probe him for any more information. What do you think we'd want to know the most while he's here?
You just opened that large door.
What was that?
I'm gonna be honest with you, my mind's kind of preoccupied at the moment.
Very well. Any ideas, Luft?
He's here as well.
Yeah.
This is awkward.
Sorry, I also wasn't listening.
Are you too distracted by whatever he's doing?
No, I was just thinking about something else.
Oh, well. Anyway. We have an Inquisitor downstairs. I'm inclined to attempt to probe him for information one more time before things get hectic. Can you think of anything worth asking?
Can I have a reminder of this? When did we get an Inquisitor downstairs?
When Celeste came in and... Am I thinking of that, or am I thinking of... Yeah.
Yeah, when Celeste
been here the whole
first
time.
arrived here with Dai and Kytheria.
Oh,
and
yeah, I don't think Luft knew this. I think
Okay,
well, no, I
probably
think
not.
you were part of. Weren't you interrogating the guy who tried
The
to assassinate
assassin.
Agis, and then
Yeah, you'd have seen him.
Soros dragged him outside and killed him?
yeah, I was there for that, but
Yeah,
that
so
isn't him, right?
No, but he was in the cellars where you're keeping the other two prisoners, so you know that there's two other prisoners downstairs.
Oh,
seen-
right, okay. Well, I don't know, really. I don't know what you know already, or what you don't know.
He hasn't given us a lot, to be honest. If anything.
Well, I mean, I mean, just about all this. I don't know anything. I'm not from around here, so I don't even know really who we're fighting.
In that case, it sounds like a perfect opportunity to go down and find out. I would join you guys, but I've got to clean up.
Yes.
The only reason I'm still here is because I know that they're the ones that are harming the dragons, to my knowledge. At least I've not seen any of you do anything to that one down there yet.
Agis and Sora's both kind of just go like, oh yeah, don't ask about the scar on his neck. Or on her neck, sorry. It's fine, it was self-defense. Actually, no, it wasn't self-defense, because Celeste came out of a teleportation spell swing. It was in your defense, but it wasn't self-defense.
Very well. Luft, would you like to join me?
Sure. I'll listen in.
We'll head on down.
Head on down. Alright. You come to the room where you have the Inquisitor once more chained to the racks.
Long time no speak.
It's been a couple of days. It's not that long to be in captivity. Though I'm probably
in
preaching to the
captivity before.
choir.
Oh. Good one. I'll pour some wine and give him some wine.
How long did it take until the manacles started leaving scarring on your wrists? He says as he takes the wine.
It's good you're in a talking mood.
I'm just wondering whether you're going to be doing the same to me.
Drink your wine. Who knows when you'll get the next one?
He drinks the wine.
Does he drink it quick or?
No, he sips it. He's not been being starved or, dying of thirst down here. Just not having wine. Because no one specified you're trying to starve or kill your prisoners by thirst. So I'm assuming someone has been electing to feed and water them.
Okay. I am going to attempt to detect thoughts.
Alrighty. I'm gonna make it kind of like The Witcher, where it's like a little hand gesture you can do like down by your side, rather than having to be like sort of thing.
Yeah.
But your eyes do slightly pulse white as you do it, so it is something that is detectable, and obviously you have to mutter something underneath your breath as well. So if you're trying to do it without him noticing, because you're just talking to him.
Try and hide it a little bit by having like a sip of wine myself?
Sure. Either way, roll me a stealth check. Okay. Okay. So you initially learn the surface level thoughts of the creature, what's most on its mind at the moment. So at the moment, the surface thoughts are, they are trying to essentially work out how to game this situation to their advantage. They are trying to work out how to play you, essentially. But they are also fully aware that they have very few cards on the table. The thought that permeates in the back of their mind, before you choose to dig deeper if you want to, is that the one card that they know they have is that if they bide their time, well, you're on borrowed time, so...
Listen, I'm gonna get down to his level. I know you and I are both on a similar page right now. And you made some assumptions about me in the past, and I will admit, you may have been correct. There may not be that many differences between you and me, only circumstance. And you're likely thinking to yourself how you can get an advantage right now. But seeing as you're the one in chains, not many to be had. And I'm thinking the same thing. What can I say that might sway you or get you to tell me something useful? But there isn't really anything. Because again, you and I are similar, just on the opposite sides of circumstance. So, I wish to give you a card to play.
He tilts his head in interest.
We're both just trying to survive, doing what we believe is right. So person to person, I wish to ask you straight. No deep information needed. Do you have any doubts in what you're doing in Aasimar? Or do you truly believe that you're doing the right thing?
What Aasimar is doing is what every kingdom does. I say be on the side of the winners.
What was that? Sorry, cut out.
I say be on the side of the winners.
But how do you feel in yourself about the things they have you do, as the hands who do them?
You asking me how I sleep at night?
That is a simple way of putting it, yes. But
Other than the past couple of days. In silk sheets. In a nice tower.
I feel like you're ignoring the true point of the question, though. Physically, sure. But we all know there's more to sleep than just sheets.
I empathize with those who suffer, I do. But like I said, life is pain, right? Sure you know that too. And I'm sure if someone had given you the opportunity to change your lot in life, I mean, is that not what you're doing right now?
And we agree. Life is indeed pain. That is why we're on opposite sides. Because I do not believe that having your mind dominated is life. I hope you can understand that at least.
You say as you cast detect forwards on me. Not quite domination, but... You finding what you're looking for in there?
I merely wish to see if what you say is true.
Could have cast...
Rather than
a spell that forced me to tell the truth, although you don't really look like the spellcasting type.
Even after a glass of wine, you're observant. I can't talk. I cannot talk. Observant.
And even without a full glass of wine, you flub your words.
I'm not much for spellcasting, no. Nor am I for taking spellcasting too far. But instead of probing you for all of the information on the bigger picture, I merely wanted to give you a chance to tell me about the person that you are, rather than those you serve.
Well, I can tell you I don't give a fuck. What I want to know is where you keep those dragons.
Well, my dragon's dead.
Oh, I don't care about that then. I don't want to know the harm you've caused or what anyone else has done.
It wasn't me who killed my dragon. It was your friend's dragon.
Does Luft know about the whole domination on dragons thing? He does, doesn't he?
I believe.
I think we at least told him. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he has some idea just from before anyway, but...
Yeah, your friend's dragon ripped the throat out of mine, so... If you want to know what will happen if I'm ever let go, I will return to Ozamor and I'll find another dragon. The bonding experience is long-winded, so it's a little bit annoying to restart fresh, but we have our ways.
Well, I don't think you're going to get quite that far, because I've seen how this goes, and I'm pretty sure Big Man here is going to smash your head in a minute. So what I want to know is where you keep those dragons.
I see now. We talked about cards on the table. He says, turning his attention back to Soros. If your friend is right, then there's really no incentive for me to tell you anything. So.
You wouldn't be telling him, you'd be telling me. I don't give a fuck about whatever you guys are doing. You could kill each other for all I care. You're as bad as each other. I've seen what the supposed good guys are supposed to be doing. All I care about is the dragons.
And all I care about is another glass of wine right now, so. He finishes his glass of wine.
I'm going to give him that wine.
Thank you. I still have...
Can't be civil.
Well, if you're gonna smash my head in, then there is really no incentive for me to answer either of your questions.
He could be talking about the hangover.
Well, maybe when I'm hungover, my inhibitions might be lowered, so.
My friend here asked you a question.
And I still have been given no reason to answer it. So.
Didn't you say something about appreciating someone changing your lot in life? Well, as it stands, we've got your life in our hands. You can wait for your friends, but you'll be dead before then. So, we could keep you alive, and then you'll have a chance, if you tell us. That would be us changing your lot in life, wouldn't you agree?
Except there's no guarantee that you'll do that. Once I give you the information, there's no reason for you to keep me alive, so...
There's no guarantee you'll tell us the truth, so we'll be at an impasse anyway. At least we'll
he still has
both
his
come
spell
out
on
not
me,
knowing.
so while he won't know for certain, He might be able to sense whether I tell the truth or not. You're not very good at this thing, are you? He says, smiling at you. I get the sense you don't tend to interrogate people very often. It's a game of bargaining. Checks and balances. You want something from me, give me something concrete. And no, a
So
glass
what
of
is
wine
it?
is not going to do.
I could get some cheese.
You could let me go.
Such a simple request.
You've taken all of my belongings. I have no dragon. I'm in a foreign city.
You forget your place right now. You're not in a position to make bargains. I would be happy to accommodate some. But right now, I don't know you're worth anything.
Well then.
If you're willing to die here now, you'd be willing to die as soon as you get free too.
Yes. Well. You asked when you first came down here, he says, turning his attention back to Soros, about whether I believe in what Arzamor's doing. I told you the honest truth. I do believe in honor and loyalty, and I've sworn an oath. So am I willing to die for the cause? Well, he just shrugs. By the way, again, surface thoughts, so you haven't tried to push any further. You get the sense that he is genuinely willing to die for the cause.
I'll nod my head at him for that.
I'll
look a bit
turn
back.
to I'll turn to look at Sorrows and just say, well, I'd say he gave his permission.
I concur,
And I'll just walk away.
says your sword.
I'll tilt my head to the side a little bit. Like I am tempted, but I'm resisting the sword for now. But I will ask him who discovered this domination magic.
Sorry, did you say who?
Mhm.
I'm not sure that anyone discovered it per se, but it's been something that Osmor's had in their back pocket for a while. Ever since the Dragon Wars, really.
Are you aware of Osmor's association with demons?
Enlighten me. By the way, just as a real quick thing, the first Dragon War happened over 2,000 years ago. 2,500 years ago. He said it's been a while. He didn't say that they've had it since the first Dragon Wars. So, somewhere in the region of 2,500 years to a year.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's why they got it, or that's since like he knows that they have it basically.
Dragonriders have existed as an organization within Ardmore for 2,500 years. He has said that they've had it in their back pocket for a while, which is a kind of non-committal answer, of not giving a time frame. But
Okay.
he's basically saying that like the implication you got there is at the very least it didn't exist before the Dragonriders.
Yeah.
Yes. They've been working with cults. across the world. Attacked innocents. Raised down businesses. I do not presume that you are necessarily anything to do with that.
And you think this is Aasimar, not just one person, one rogue element? Should I accuse the tieflings of sedition because of your actions?
That is exactly why I'm investigating this with you. Maybe it isn't all of Aasimar. Aasimar a big place with many people. I do not wish to see it all burn. I do not believe that you are all guilty. But with your help, I can find the people who are responsible. We do not have to be enemies.
Did your keepers say something similar to you when you ever fought against big, strong guy like you? I imagine you were a problem for your masters.
What was that, sorry?
Did your masters ever say something similar to you? I imagine that they had problems with a big, strong guy like you.
They certainly had trouble indeed.
It's always easy for someone to say, we can be friends, when he lifts his hands with the manacles.
I didn't say we could be friends. Merely that we don't have to be enemies. Right now we are, hence the chains. But you're just a person in this, just like I am. Doesn't have to stay that way. I just want what's best for the world. That's for the world to be ours, not hell of ours.
And what makes you think you get to decide what's best for the world?
Exactly the same thing as you.
I don't. I've got no illusions of what I am. I don't think Aasimar building a better place for the world. I think Aasimar building a better place for Aasimar.
Well,
You know, there's one thing I did learn, and you don't look like a cleric or a paladin either, but
what might that be?
the preacher always sells salvation. There's always coin to be made in that.
So is what? Coin to be what, sorry?
Coin to be made in that. He's basically saying that you're a grifter. You're trying to, like, convince him because, you know, you're trying to be like, I'm the hero, that's why you should join me. And he's like, bullshit.
I do not presume myself to be right or wrong, just like I do not presume that of you. As I said, we are indeed similar. Creatures of circumstance, fighting for whatever we believe is right. There is common cause in finding the rot in our sides and dealing with them. I do not wish to harm any innocent in Aasimar, which is why I want to work with you to figure out who really is the problem.
And And how exactly do you see me being able to help you?
Someone in your position. You surely know when something doesn't smell right. Strange order. Maybe some black ink on a parchment that doesn't add up. We could make a difference. And that benefits us and more too.
Alright, roll me persuasion.
Okie dokie.
That's good.
That's good.
That is
We
pretty
gave him the
good.
old good cop, bad cop treatment.
Hell yeah.
If what you say is true, then potentially these people that you are chasing, these ghosts, are a problem for Arsenal too. So maybe we could be allied. But there is still one problem. I don't know who you're looking for. I don't know the things that you speak of. Now, of course, if you let me go, I could potentially find that information for you. Look for that information for you. But I can't do that for myself.
I'm in his head.
Mm-hmm.
How, tell him the truth?
You can't work out whether he's telling the truth, you can only work out surface faults. And one of his surface faults is, this is my way out. Now, whether that's because
Right.
he's actually, like, also, like, yeah, I can actually see what they're saying, or whether that's
Yeah.
him just fully trying to play you, without
Yeah.
trying to probe deeper, you have no idea.
Can I roll insight first?
Sure. Pretty good.
Pretty good.
You get the sense that there is at least enough genuineness here that he is not planning to just backstab you. But you're not necessarily convinced you have him as an ally. He's an ally of circumstance. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
But that's not necessarily something that's not useful.
How did you end up in your position anyway? It's something you were born into? Something you bled for? Something you fell into?
I grew up in a monastery, outskirts of the Kingdom of Valenn. I showed an aptitude for, well, the art of infiltration, assassination, and eventually I was headhunted by someone who hired me. They hired me to kill someone. I succeeded, and then they told me that I could be of use to them as a potential inquisitor. You see some overlap. Stealth. Subterfuge. Murder. The Dragonrider stuff that you get trained on the job, so.
You make it hard to believe you when you brag to me of your skill in subterfuge.
You're the one who's potentially going to be letting me go to go and be a double agent. I would view that as an asset. Subterfuge.
That's fair.
You know, no offense. Big strong guy with big sword and axe strapped to his back. Maybe you don't get this, but more often than not, it's the subtle knife that fells kingdoms. So if you want to beat Arzamor, you can beat at your chest and charge at their walls, but they got a lot of soldiers and a lot of dragons.
What we need is some type of plague.
Moog walks in. Hey guys.
God, Moog just like goes to Arzamor and like finds like a healer's temple and is just like, all right, I'm gonna find that like head healer and just infect them with this shit, so everyone they heal just becomes worse. Unfortunately,
Oh my god,
it doesn't become.
we
like
should
a thing
literally
where,
just let Moog touch Inquisitor and send him back.
well, that's the thing is,
Wait.
unfortunately, the person who then is infected doesn't then become an infection point. So if you
How-
infect the Inquisitor and he touches
Oh.
someone, they don't become infected. So you all have to touch the same patient zero.
What if I go to Arzamor, transform into cute ass cat on the street, and everyone wants to pet me?
Yeah, that could
Just
work.
saying.
What if
Just saying.
What if we infect someone, put them in my Pokeball, and throw them?
Yeah.
Possibilities are endless. Give me some time, will you? I will reflect on what we've spoken about.
Hey, I'm not going anywhere.
I'll top up his wine one more time.
Appreciate it.
I'll wait till he drinks it, take the cup, and then I'll head back up
Okie doke.
and I'll go talk to Di and Celeste. So obviously, if anyone else wants to do anything, go for it.
Yeah, Luft, did you want to do anything after you left that scene?
Yeah, I'll just be waiting by the door for Soros to come back up.
Okay. And yeah, as you exit Sorrow's, Luft is there outside.
Oh, did you get any info?
Hard to say. He's made an offer to look into any connections to cultists and working with Hellevar. Whether we can
All
trust
right.
him.
Well, glad to hear that he's not dead at least. And you've even tried getting him as an ally. What's this sudden change of heart?
You don't know me before all this, but killing prisoners is a first.
Now I ask. I'm going to ask you the same question that you asked him in there.
Oh,
Do you really think killing that unarmed prisoner was the right thing to do.
You may not like the answer to this, but in the moment when he dropped his weapon, weaponized my sense of honor. No, I didn't believe it was the right thing to cut him down. But it was when you told me that we needed to change and be different that I realized that it was. That I needed to be something else if we were going to get anywhere. So no. I don't regret cutting that man down. He would have been back. He knew what he was doing. And when he did, he would have known more about us. And he would have hurt my friend. A good man. And I would never forgive myself if I had the chance to stop that. And didn't.
I think I understand. Doesn't mean I like it, but I get it.
I'm glad you do. Though, I wouldn't blame you if you didn't. You're new to this little war of ours. And the day that you do understand fully, honestly, I'll just feel bad for you. But it is good to have you here with us.
I personally don't ever intend to take a life. People can call me a coward or just say that it'll happen eventually because you're in a war. It's an inevitability. But I'm going to do everything in my power to make sure that I never take a life. Now, what others do is up to them. If you need to kill enemies, that's up to you. But I won't.
I respect
And
that.
And as I said, I do get it. I still think there could have been another way to handle it, but what's done is done. And as I've just witnessed from that man down there, these people weren't innocent. They came on these jobs knowing what they were doing. They knew there was a chance they could die. Hell, that one even down there said that he would die for it, pretty much given permission, like I said. So if you want to kill fellas like that, you go ahead. Probably better off without them in the world anyway. But I'll leave that to you.
If you were in my shoes right now, would you take the chance on him, letting him go? Or would you tie the knot, remove a loose end?
I'd give him a chance. Whether that's in a fair combat, or whether it's as an ally.
Well then, I'll hold up that bottle of wine I had, and I'll hand it over to Luft, and I'll say, "Here's to second chances." I'll head back down to the dungeon.
I'll take a swig of the wine.
Okay, you head downstairs.
I'll walk up to the Inquisitor.
Mm-hmm.
This may be uncomfortable. I'll take off his binds. And I'll say to him while I'm doing it. I'm putting faith in you here.
No. He stands up and stretches.
I'm not going to let him stand up yet.
Okay. He goes to stand up then.
I'm going to put my hand on his shoulder. I can give you the threat that'll hunt you down if you wrong me here. But there's no point. You'll do what you do. If you're a man of your word, we'll make a positive difference for our nations. And if you're not, well, at some point or another, we're destined to see each other on the battlefield. And we can end it there.
Yeah.
Either way, Gods be with you.
And with you, don't get me wrong, I'm not exactly looking forward to going and spying on my brethren. But, he looks around and appears at the kind of window that's like at the, where the wall meets the ceiling of the basement, so you can just see like light filtering in, and just goes, "'Cause I'd wager you're probably needing of the gods more than me either way."
Doing it for our people.
I hit the springs on my mic arm.
Now, as I said, this may be uncomfortable. And I'm gonna poke a ball in.
Okay. Sure. Wasn't expecting that, but yep. All right. So
That's a real dick move.
you speak the command word and throw the iron bands of Bolaro at him, and they open up into this like tangle of metal bands, just kind of like suddenly rotating, and they just go around him. You do need to actually try and hit him, however. So go ahead and make me a attack roll with your dexterity modifier. So you can just roll.
Just throws it straight at the wall.
So it's roll dexterity, and then it's plus your proficiency bonus, which is
Dex with +2, yeah.
with your proficiency bonus, which is, what does that say? Oh, +3. So
Dex +3, okay.
You see his eyes widen as he just like sees this hunking big ball of metal like go past his head.
Can I roll inspiration on that?
Yeah, I was gonna say that's a miss. So go ahead and roll inspiration if you want.
It just throws the ball at him, misses, nothing happens.
Ooh.
Oh no.
That's a hit.
Can we? Did we say we can use them more than once? Okay. It's with +3 as well.
Yeah, so a 7.
Am I able to use the highest?
No, inspiration is not with advantage, it's re-rolling.
Right, okay.
But even with an 11 it missed, so oof.
I mean, he doesn't actually know what it does, though.
No,
right?
but he does see this thing. He sees Soros throw this thing at him that suddenly expands into this like heaving, pulsating, multiple bands of iron, which he then rolls out of the way of, and it hits the wall behind him, kind of smashes against it, and then turns back into this small ball on the ground.
This is certainly going to make things interesting.
This is awkward. I was hoping to get you out of here with the rest of the crew, knowing.
Roll me a persuasion check, because otherwise he's going to think that you were trying to kill him or something. Okay. Let's go ahead and... There's a bunch of invisible tokens on this map right now. Let's go ahead and clear the room a little bit.
Want to roll in this inspiration again?
I would like to roll inspiration, please.
Okay. Oh, there we go. You could have just asked. He says, and he's like clearly in like a combat pose, like he was ready to attack you, but like he pauses.
It's like cauterizing a wound. I thought it might be nicer if you didn't know it was coming.
Uh-huh. Here's an idea. I'm stealthy. Why don't I just sneak out?
I'm gonna pick up the ball.
he just puts his hand out like, don't.
Fine.
Right. Do you want me to wait till nightfall, or should I go now?
You're the master of subterfuge. Fucking what? You're the master of subterfuge.
It's the wine.
Understood, he says, and he gives you a little nod and then starts to slink into the shadows.
Hold up.
He pauses.
I'll hand him 3 days rations. And I'll also give him 100 gold.
Alright, I'll give
Can't
him...
expect you to make it on your own without a little bit of help.
Did you remove the rations from your inventory already?
Not yet. I was about to.
No, let me do it for you, because I can actually put
Okay.
them in his inventory.
I've taken the gold out, though.
Okay, that's fine. Thanks, I appreciate it.
Anyway, get in the damn wall.
Alright, yeah, he slinks off. Hey,
Like how you didn't tell anyone. I just can't wait for Celeste to see him and then be like, fucking kill that guy.
alright, Luft, would you be around potentially to spot him?
I'd probably still be waiting by the door, yeah, because I was probably just like wondering what Sorrows was doing going back down, so I'd probably be waiting again.
Okay, then yeah, he walks out, but like you hear the door creak open, and then him go, okay, well, I'm guessing this person knows, and he just like swings the door open. Hi.
Hello. I take it we're well, we're not fighting for now then?
I would prefer it if we didn't, on account of he gestures at the no weapons that he has on him.
Right you are. Good luck.
Thanks. You too.
I'll just give him a nod.
Right, he slinks off into the shadows then. Hey, Sarah's have an inspiration point for not murderizing someone and recruiting someone instead.
Yeah, I need them after spending 2. Thank you.
I'll be straight up. I completely forgot we had that like that Inquisitor down there, like completely.
Good job.
Thanks. They also got an inspiration point for that.
Nope.
I can't wait for this to bite Sorrows in the ass.
Oh yeah. Time will tell.
Especially as you're already on fucking thin ice after fucking killing that one guy without telling anyone. And Celeste was like, okay, guess Agis is my number 2. Now he's gonna find out you just let a guy go. Once again, without asking anyone.
You can blame it on a sword now. Even though the sword did actually tell him to kill him, so
My
no.
super evil sword wanted me to show mercy.
Yeah.
Told me to show mercy.
It was
Yeah, that's how
Luft and
that works.
Sorrows both times as well.
Question is Luft at this point going to get a reputation for being trustworthy and become the number 3 for Celeste, or is Luft going to get a reputation as a snitch? Mom, Sorrows did a bad again. All right.
Nah.
Probably at this sort of time, Moog would make it back.
Does Sorrows come back up the
Yep.
stairs?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Sorrows, I assume, comes back up the stairs unless you were planning to do anything else down in the cellar.
I'll come back up.
I just want to say something very quickly. As he comes back up, I'll just sort of stop him and be like, I just wanted to say one more thing. I apologize for judging you too harshly. I was ignorant of your history. And I didn't consider what might have led up to that point.
Think nothing of it. Like I said, you're new to all of this. It's nice to have someone around who hasn't been tainted by it all.
Well, seems like there's a lot to learn, and I've already learned a lot in the past few days.
It helps to be flexible when you can. But I've no doubt that you will make a fine member of the team. And I'll offer out a hand to shake.
I shall shake the hand.
Fuck yeah.
I appreciate it. Alright, well, I feel a bit better now that we've got that off our chests.
Aye.
Should we head over to the others?
I'm gonna get back to my barricades. And I assume Agis is still prodding himself.
I'll do more than that, but yeah, I'm still working on shit.
Alright. Well, Moog hasn't gotten back yet because we've now hit a timer that I set myself.
What? But
You hear outside the entrance to the palace. This is audible enough that Agis would also hear it wherever he is.
Oh,
Would I at least arrive at the same time, considering you said that it would only take me 40 minutes to go back?
You can arrive during the conversation, yeah, sure.
Cool. Just let me know whenever I do get there then.
Alright. What do you guys do? You hear the sound of a trumpet outside the palace.
The fuck was that, do you know?
Let's go check it out.
Agis, are you going to check it out as well?
Yeah, I fucking guess so.
Okay.
With a fucking needle in his arm, he's like, fuck.
You walk outside and you are joined by Etheria, Celeste, Dai, Gion, Shirogane, Rubir, Vienzen, and Tarek. And you see someone dressed in the regalia of the city of Viress, so the same colors. He's got the emblem on his chest. He appears to be wearing like light scout's armor, and is carrying a trumpet, which he's tucked underneath one armpit, and is reading, or has unfurled a scroll in front of him. This is addressed to the occupiers of the Palace of Oris, which I presume to be the people present in front of me.
We're not in.
How persuasive.
He kind of furrows his brow, and Celeste just kind of gives you an annoyed look and then takes a step forward. Speak, emissary. Yes. This is a message from King Lucilius Egtatal of the city of Viress. He would like to welcome you to his nearby war camp to discuss your imminent surrender. At this point, Moog's going to walk into the courtyard behind him.
So I'm basically behind the
Yeah.
messenger right
And it's
now?
also one
I'm
messenger, by the
okay.
way. It's a single
Quick,
messenger.
drink the potion, Moog.
He's got a horse.
Drink the potion quick.
He's got a horse slightly behind him, so slightly in front of you. And,
Yeah.
And that's it. They have not sent an army or whatever to deliver this message.
Yeah, I'll considering I'm pretty old and I'm like walking with my stick all the time. I hurried home. I'm a bit out of breath. Yeah. I was about to tell you there's a messenger coming, but yeah, that's him.
The messenger kind of turns around to look at you and goes, Yes, I am the messenger.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're one of the occupiers of the palace.
Yeah, I guess.
Let me start
I'll
again.
kind of.
I am a messenger.
Yeah,
from
just
King...
I get it. I get it. Yeah.
Okay.
They can tell. They can fill me in. Yeah.
The war camp can be found.
Yeah, it's over there. We know. Yeah, it's fine.
Okay. You will be given safe passage to the meeting for a parlay, and you will also be allowed to leave the war camp unharmed and return to this palace to collect your belongings once you vacate.
Generous. I'll look because I just returned. I'll look at like how the others react to this, I guess.
Luft is just looking incredulous, like it's the stupidest thing he's ever heard.
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe of all your companions as well, except for Celeste, who is at the very least kind of like, I'm gonna hear this guy out. Still looks kind of like, furrowed brow, but he's very much like he's taking a step forward. He's actively listening. What about Sorrows and Agis? How are they doing?
Yeah, I'm also just listening. I ain't really, it ain't really sinking in. Like, it's kind of like a fucking serious.
Agis, to be fair, is currently, a little bit, what's what I'm looking for? Weak from blood loss. So things not sinking into him kind of makes sense. He's just like, am I really here? What's going on?
Wasn't that much blood.
You just be looking like a ghoul from Fallout right now.
Something smooth skin.
I'll fold my arms and I'll look at Celeste and see what he has to say.
Let's address the elephant in the room, shall we? And if we don't surrender, still given safe passage. You will be given safe passage into the camp and out of the camp to collect your things from the palace. Right. But if we don't agree to surrender, then we won't be returning to the palace to collect our things. We'll be returning to the palace to continue occupying it. I'm just reading the parchments, sire. Okay.
Also, what this kind of stuff, doesn't it usually come with, like, I don't know, benefits for us? I mean, of course you plan on letting us live, but I mean, we've been here for now. Why would we just leave without, like, anything?
I believe that's probably the sort of thing that would be discussed at the Parlay, sir.
It's kind of weird not coming to us with an actual offer, considering we don't know what's going to happen.
I'm just reading off the parchment. Would you like to read the parchment? He says, and he offers you the piece.
No. I'm... Actually, in fact, you know what? Give me that.
It reads exactly what he said.
Yeah, I'll just put it away. I'll just
Okay.
put it away. I'm not even reading it.
Okay. Well, I mean, obviously, if you choose not to attend the Parlay, which is today, it's an offer only for today. Then it will be taken as a decline for peace talks.
I'll look
yes,
over.
He nods.
I'll look over at Celeste, kind of like raise an eye and say, like, I mean, we, in a way that's like, we weren't actually trying to agree to any deal anyway, right?
He just kind of gives you a non-committal shrug of like, we should probably talk about this once this guy's out of here.
Okay, yeah. And I'll just shrug back, I guess.
Celeste just says, well, thank you for the message. He pulls a trumpet out from underneath his armpit. Puts it back underneath his armpit. Half runs over to his horse, struggles to get on his horse, and rides off. Unless anyone stops him.
Now I'll look at him just very confused.
Dai
Job
just,
he did.
yeah, Dai just furrows his brow and just goes, not exactly the most, well, if that's the kind of standard we're going to be dealing with, then.
Yeah, that's... he's gone now, right? By the way, by now?
He's ridden
gone?
out of the courtyard, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of what I've been working on the past 2 hours-ish. So I've seen two higher-ups talk about some commander coming in. Basically, well, by now he will have arrived. From Osmore, that's, I would assume, someone who's gonna lead the attack, which would be my best guess. So, considering there's a messenger now, I very much doubt that the siege will be taking more than 1 to 2 days now.
Makes sense, says Fienzan. They're just trying to minimize losses, would be my guess.
Yeah. I didn't actually get to look at him because he wasn't there when I was there. So, yeah.
Now that we know the enemy is coming to our doorstep, that should fill you all in on something.
Everyone turns their attention to you.
What is it you've done this time?
I've recruited the Inquisitor.
Is this 100% confirmed?
Of course not. But he's either going to get freed by the enemy or killed to be silenced. So, I found common ground with him. I am aware that he is not happy of the idea of Asimov being involved with demons. So, he's going to try and find out some of the bad eggs in the batch. Give us some names, something to go off on. If he's lying, I'll kill him. If he's not, well, that makes our job a bit easier.
Not so sure on this plan.
I'm not so sure on any plan we've done over the last few weeks.
It's better than murdering him in cold blood.
Also, let's face it, we've beat him before. Either we get a worthy ally, or we'll just beat him again.
Agreed. It's worth the risk.
I know my head.
Feels like the sort of thing we should have discussed, says Dai.
I
It's
know.
not just the physical harm he can do to us in battle, it's the information he could provide to our enemy.
You mean you've already let him out?
He's gone.
To be completely honest, we're a pretty small group. And we have a druid to spy on the enemies. Chances are they have similar ways to figure out what we're doing in here.
Plus, I needed him to think I was acting alone on this. If I gave him time to think I was speaking to you all first, thinking of some kind of plan, makes it less likely to work. Even to think I'm his friend.
Yeah, it's done now, says Celeste. There's no point debating it.
That it is.
What about this? This Parlay?
It's a bunch of shit if you ask me.
What was that, sorry, Moke? You kind of cut out.
I said it's a bunch of shit if you ask me.
I mean, you've witnessed their camp, Moog, so do you reckon we could beat them?
They seemed on edge, not necessarily because they're afraid that they can't beat us, but more that they'll lose precious time, since, I mean, obviously time is a big factor for them. They can't hold out there for months or whatever. They're definitely stronger than we are, but I mean, we have the city and we have him. I'll point over to the dragon, which, of course, they might have one as well, but, or, in fact, more than one, but I wouldn't say it's a lost cause per se. That being said, it's obviously not going to be very easy.
It's more if we walk into their camp and they don't want us to leave.
Exactly.
That's also another factor. However, we still don't have an exact date on when the reinforcements from the Orc Kingdom are here.
We have a rough estimate, correct?
It's like a week or two away. Okay, Fury also pipes up. I mean, we do have a way of getting out of that camp, although I don't think it'd be enough for all of us. She looks at you, Agis.
Yeah. I think it's about 8 people.
So don't send
Does
more
seem-
than 8. They won't let you leave, then you have the absolute maximum the spell can carry, and you come back here. It's not like they're going to be able to lay siege to us in an instant.
Might be worth keeping in mind. The more people we bring, the less we leave here as well.
True.
I would not be surprised if they have someone in hiding, ready to go in the moment we leave.
At the very least, if you are going to go and parlay, his vacant gaze lingers over to Celeste. Celeste just kind of silently mouths the word sure.
What would be the point in going to Parlay anyway? We're not going to surrender, and then the only other option is that they kill us.
Information, says Fienzan. It's a conversation with the enemy. Any conversation you can have when you're not drawing blades is an opportunity to learn about them. Sure, it's an opportunity for them to learn about you too, but think of it like going into an interrogation.
We'll let them do the talking.
Of course, it's still a risk. I'm not saying we should do it, I'm just saying that's the benefit. And who knows, maybe one of you can convince them to surrender instead.
There's a thought.
He, kind of like, none of you are secretly like a necromancer who can raise an army of undead, right?
Arise.
Actually not.
Either way, I don't think we should go with a big group or in fact just send one person. I mean, if we all go, they're still outnumbering us by 1 to, 50?
They had several hundred troops in total at that camp.
Yeah.
In the immediate area where you would be going to parlay, there wasn't hundreds, but like, you know, if a fight broke out and they hit an alarm bell, you would literally be surrounded by an army of several hundred.
Yeah. I say only 1 to 2 people go. We don't all have to speak for us. And we don't all have to risk our lives.
Well, if it's 1 to 2 people, says Gian, and Daya is saying that you should go, she says, looking at Celeste, then it stands to reason, she says, and she gestures at Agis for the quick exit.
I'm not opposed to it.
I would volunteer if nobody else wants to go.
It's not my cup of tea.
I will go if needed, says Shirogane. Likewise, says Dai.
I would like to go.
Celeste gives you a really wary look at you saying that, but doesn't argue against it. Is this sort of look of like, this motherfucker, but also like, he's not going to pretend you wouldn't be useful, you know?
Yeah.
Okay, so currently we've got Celeste, Agis, and Sorrows kind of locked in, it sounds like. Moog is saying he's willing to go. Shirogane, basically any of your companions are willing to go if you want them to go with you. And again, the
Are
staff can
we-
transport 8. So if you want that as a quick exit plan, the absolute limit is 8. It's not it's not the absolute limit. It's the absolute limit of people you can get out there. You could bring all
I can't
of you.
remember. So let me have a look. 'Cause I can't remember whether it's 8 including me or not.
It is including you, I believe.
Thank you, Cat, standing on my keyboard.
You and up to 8, so 9. Sorry, so yeah, you can bring
Okay.
9 total.
I'm sorry,
Alright.
but are we? Oh, sorry. Are you still talking out of character? Then go ahead.
Yeah, so we can carry up to 9, but we don't want to leave too many people behind. To not defend the place.
Luft is staying behind.
Okay. I mean, if Mo wants to come along, then that's fine. I don't think I would want to take any other NPCs other than Celeste. Maybe die at a push.
Just a quick thing. In character, by the way. Are we completely sure we want to take Celeste with us? Because let's face it, he's the only anchor that is the bargaining chip for us to actually keep this place, considering he has this big fellow over there.
They don't know that.
They don't know that, but what if they end up killing us?
I could just ask Kerdorf not to abandon you if I get captured. He says, looking over at
Fair point.
Kerdorf, and Kerdorf kind of gives this empathetic look for a dragon. You know when you get this vibe from a dog of like they understand what you're saying, sort of thing.
Man. I mean, fair point.
Is it a female dragon?
Yeah.
Is it male?
Female.
Female. I'll just sort of look over and say, well, I'll look after her while you're gone anyway. Make sure nothing happens to her.
Celeste nods his head in appreciation. It's still not a guaranteed he is going, by the way. You still have that choice. It's just like that concern is one that Celeste doesn't have a massive concern about. The idea of arguably your leader being taken captive, though, is absolutely a valid concern. It's just also having your leader at a parlay can be very useful. So,
What about our new guy? What do you think?
what route?
I'll look over to Luft.
Oh,
No.
Sorry, I thought you said nuke
Well-
guy, as in like being able to drop a nuke. And I was like, that's root beer.
Yeah, true. She can cast Wish.
Well,
You reckon I should go or
Tactically-
should I stay?
tactically speaking, I would say you should probably stay, because you have quite a lot of good defensive spells and abilities. It probably wouldn't be much use in a close combat in a parlay, especially if they're going to use a quick escape anyway. You'd probably be more useful on defense here. Same as
I'll
me,
give him-
I can snipe off the top of the building if I need to.
I'll give him a appreciative smile and then nod. I'll stay then.
Okay, so we have Celeste, Agis, and Sorrows locked in currently, I believe.
We'll take Die along with us, why not?
Alright, nice Tetris block you've got going here.
Mm.
Any more for the trolley?
So that's 4 people going?
Mm-hmm.
Is that? Yeah. I say the rest of us start preparing. We're gonna need all the hands we can get.
Oh man, this song's a blast from the past.
I can't remember which one this is from.
Iron Lord. Destiny 2.
Destiny, gotcha.
Are we heading out straight away?
They said next day, didn't they?
No, they said today.
Oh, they said today?
Yep, they said if you want to take them up on the offer for Parlay, it is today only.
It's still fairly early though, right? It's not super late.
It's about noon.
Oh,
Midday.
damn. Okay, never mind.
Okay, in that case then, before we head off, I would like to speak to Kytheria and Celeste.
Okay.
In private.
All right.
All right. Well, I was hoping we could do this a bit later on. Whoever needs must. Right. So I've been working on something. Not sure how this is going to work. So I've asked, I've asked you along Kyphera because I don't want to keep secrets from you. And I trust you enough, Celeste. So if this doesn't work out and something happens, I know you'll probably do the things that need to be done. Sounds morbid, I know, but when the ruined changed me and what have you with the blood, I got to thinking of whether the blood itself that has this magical property could be used alchemically. So I've had a few ideas in my head on what to make, and potions sort of will, but yeah, I think I've got something and I want to try it.
What's it gonna do? Says Kytheria.
In theory, sort of the more scientific terms, hopefully increase blood flow to the brain. Idiot's terms make me smarter.
Okay.
Just call her an idiot.
Bro just called his girlfriend an idiot. Casual.
But Celeste is here as well.
It's fine. I was looking at both of them. Both of them are not proficient in medicine. So when you were like blood flow to the brain, they were both just like, yes, we know what that does.
The idea my brain will be able to work harder. More blood flow to the brain means it can,
Oh, it's like
just in case of
Limitless. It's
anything
like
good.
Limitless. You're going to use 100% of your brain.
Exactly.
It's like that classic Bard's Tale, Limitless.
Exactly. I'm glad you've heard it as well. So yeah, anyway, and without further ado, I guess I'm gonna take it. So I mean, I'll just click this button so you can see what I'm going to be doing, Pete. I am gonna choose celerity. No, not celerity. Sorry, where is it? There's like so many fucking ones. I think it's alacrity or something city.
Sagacity.
Why can't I?
Your intelligence score increases by 3 as
Yes.
does your maximum for that score. However, you have disadvantage on charisma saving throws. Your intelligence score and your maximum increase by 4. You consume this mutation at 11th level.
That's 11th level. I'm only at 3rd, so
This is
I'll be
permanent?
increasing. Well, it's until I finish a long rest, but then I can make another potion and take it.
Okay. Fucking hell.
Okay.
Okay. I didn't realize you didn't know about this.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yes. Yeah, I'm sure.
I
it's
didn't
fine.
realize I didn't realize we're just casually giving a +3 to a score, but that's fine. Alright, so I've given it a check bonus, so it's still gonna say, because there's no way to like temp do it, But anything that
Yeah.
affects, I'm just gonna double check this works. So it should, yeah. So if you click it, it's still gonna add an extra +3 on top of it. Wait, no, it's not an extra +3. I'm dumb. Sorry. Let me, because it'll be
It'll be +1.
19, so it'll be +1. Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, at the moment it'll be a +1.
would also affect your saving throws, though. So let's add that in as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So it will automatically do that, and then I just need to give you disadvantage on charisma saving throws.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a way to do that. Okay. What we will do to help then.
Oh, here we go. If I press this one, so I know 4 of the mutagens at start. So these are the 4 I know, and I'm choosing Sagacity. I have 1,000,001, Alex. That is a heavy price to pay. That's what I'll say. However, additional use of blood magic. No, but
Very swag. No, you just got to remember to use them.
yeah, I haven't actually used one.
Yeah, no, I know. I barely use them either. I feel like they're so situational. Like they can be really good. Like for example, when I used the like fallen puppet blood curse and like managed to make someone kill their ally, you know, that was a good use of it. But that's probably like one of the only ones I've used like across the many blood hunters I've had.
To be fair, my one is very situational as well. It's one that fucks with people's resistances.
Yeah, but when they like are usable, they do come in clutch sometimes.
Alright, so basically what I've done is given you a feature called Active Formula, and then currently it's called Saga City with a description of that. So if you ever change it, we just edit it so that if you, because obviously like if we finish today's session and it's still today, then next week we want to remember which one you got active. So that's how we're going to do it.
Okay.
And then I have set it up so it will automatically do it for the intelligence roll. It won't automatically do it for the saving throw, but we'll just try and remember. Alrighty.
Okay. But you changed that already, didn't you, for the intelligence?
Yeah, it will automatically give a +1 on both the any skill check, any ability roll, and any saving throw, but it won't automatically give you disadvantage on charisma checks. Charisma saving throw,
Oh, right, okay.
So we just need to remember that whenever I ask you for a charisma saving throw, you get disadvantage.
Yeah, and that is just the charisma saving throw. It's not any of the skills.
Correct. Just saving throws.
Yeah.
Also, have an inspiration point as you get closer to your blood hunter destiny.
Excellent. It is a shame the Ruin wasn't here for this, because I would have asked him instead of Celeste. But...
Yeah.
What happens when you drink
Ruin.
this concoction? What happens to your body? How does your body react?
I don't really know, because there's no real description for...
Yeah, so make it up.
You become
It's-
Megamind.
His forehead becomes bigger.
Comes
Yeah,
with
no,
five
I'll
heads.
definitely say it's very foul tasting. It probably won't be that tasteful. With the description I made for it to increase blood flow to the brain, I'd say there's definitely like more visible like veins that start to protrude from my head, like around my head and like around the eyes. Fuck man, I don't know what else. I don't know, maybe so. I mean, it is called Order of the Mutant, but I don't want to be fucked up.
It
I
doesn't
don't
have to
want
be
to be fucked up
permanent.
anyway. I'm missing a pinky.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be permanent. I was more thinking things like
Missing a name.
You know how like when Geralt drinks his mutagens, like different
Yeah.
things happen. I was thinking, like, is there like a visual thing that they see, or is it just like it's just foul tasting?
Blood starts pooling in his eyes like the ruin.
I mean,
Cos-
that would be
it's
very
cosplay.
cool. That would be very cool.
We can have like a single blood tear or whatever drip from your eyes as you finish digesting it.
Yeah.
Okay. So Celeste just kind of like clearly concerned, but you know, he's already rolled with the ruin for long enough to be like, yeah, this is a benefit, but he's not a fan.
Well, I can definitely say my mind's intact, so you can take your hand off the sword, Celeste.
He folds his arms, looking concerned, but you okay? Says Kypheria, just like gently touching your wrist.
I think so. I won't know until I, put my mind to use, but...
Celeste looks at Kypheria touching your wrist, and then looks to her and then to you.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, I hope there's not a weird love triangle going on.
No, there's no weird love triangle. He just
Okay.
kind of like looks at both of you and just goes, "Oh, we should get ready," he says, and he turns around to like grab his stuff to go to the war camp.
In my mind, I'm like, 20% chance that could have gone real bad.
Did you say that out loud? Sorry.
No, just in my mind, I'm
Okay.
like, that could have gone real bad.
Stay safe, says Kypheria as Celeste walks off. Like to you, she says, "Stay safe."
Always.
Sure,
Doubt.
she says, and she takes the bottle that you just drank the mutagen from. Go put this away with your stuff.
Yeah, thanks.
So who knows about Agis and Kypheria at this point? Celeste knows,
Moog and
Moog
Celeste.
knows. Is that
Oh,
Moog definitely figured it out.
Guy
No.
probably knows with his ineffable wisdom.
it? Yeah, Di probably knows. So the group of people who know the secret grows, but Tommy still does not, or Sorrow still does not.
And Luff doesn't
That-
care.
The battle is going to be so legendary when Soros finds out.
I mean, to be frank with Luft, if he ever notices, he won't know it's a big deal because he'll probably just be like, "Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
exactly.
They were already like at this stage in their relationship when he met them." So
Yeah, like he doesn't care because he doesn't know anyone.
all right, heading to the war camp then, or does anyone want to do anything before heading to the war camp?
Yes. I got something I need to do
Okay.
real quick. But Moog was going to say something too.
I'm just gonna say that Moog by now would probably have walked off somewhere into the direction of going like outside into the courtyard.
Mm-hmm.
That's yeah. Probably was the first guy to leave or one of the first.
Soros.
I would like to could I catch Kypheria and Gion at the same time?
Sure. Kypheria will walk through the room that you and Gion are in, carrying an empty bottle of what looks like it had blood in it.
Roll a quick insight on to see if I know, well, perception to see if I notice the blood.
Sure.
I'm just gonna go to the toilet a sec.
Okay. You don't notice jack shit. You're amazed you even notice Kypheria. Kypheria literally makes you jump as you like. Yeah, you're in the middle of like saying to Gion, "Hey, do you have a moment? I need to speak to you and Kypheria." And then Kypheria like appears next to your shoulder, and you go, "Fuck!"
It'd be really amusing to see how long this actually goes on before Soros actually knows what's
Oh, I'm
happening.
loving it. I'm fucking loving it.
I can't wait for it to be years down the line. You'd be like, wait, what?
What?
Yeah, at this point they're married and have kids and what have you, and then then Soros
Yeah,
is
he's
like,
invited to like a marriage, like
Wait a
to
minute.
like a marriage or some shit, and he's like, "Wait, you two are marrying? What the fuck?
wait a minute.
Wait a minute, hold on."
Hmm. In fact, I can't play it on stream, but I'm going to post exactly what's going to happen when Soros starts to work out what's happening between these two. I need a frick. Hold on.
Oh, hello, cat.
Hello.
Yeah.
You can continue. I'm just going to post a meme real quick, but I need to find the meme.
Okay. Yeah, I'll I just wanted to grab you quick for a second, the pair of you.
What's up? Says Kypheria.
Listen, I apologize if I have not been myself recently. But obviously this parlay is likely to be a trap. So I just wanted to thank you both for getting me through this. It's been an enlightening and yet horrific few months. But something great has come out of it in you two.
You sound like you're saying goodbye. Is G unfolding her arms?
You can't be too careful,
She nods.
but I'll try and get back in one piece.
You're better. I have not given you permission to die yet.
Ozmore should cower if they defy your wishes. I'll get back home safe.
And look after the other three, says Kypheria. You can roll an insight on that if you want.
Oh,
And then if you roll higher than a
don't let it
12, you can
happen.
click. If you roll higher than a 12, you can click the meme. Nope, you can still click the meme, but you haven't rolled higher than a 12. By the way, 12 is not the DC for working it out. 12 is just at the point where I'm like, maybe he might get suspicious of something.
That is.
Their
fucking
insight is also not
suspicious.
horrible. Like a +2 is like decent.
Yep.
Like that makes it even funnier.
as long as I breathe, no harm shall come to them.
I'm really sad that Kypheria isn't a guy or Agis isn't a girl, actually, because then we could go with the roommate of Soros just being like, oh yeah, they're just roommates.
Oh,
And they were
can't wait for
roommates.
that Joey moment when he does realize.
I can. It's gonna hurt Aegis. Soros will hurt Aegis, and I'm not prepared.
Yeah, I'll give them both the squeeze, and then I'll head off to meet the rest of the group.
All right.
The dad finding out that the boyfriend is like a heavily drug addicted guy.
Not drugs, man.
Yeah, but he's a heavily
Hey,
drug
listen,
What
addict.
if the dad is heavily a drug? Yeah, heavily. Yep.
Soros is also definitely on roids, so you know it's a bit.
You know what? Yeah.
But also
It's a fucked up family.
it's damn, my daughter's dating a drug addict, but he is the vice president, and the drug he's addicted to is cocaine because it's help him focus. So like,
If that's what you want to call it, I guess.
you're Celeste number 2. So, all right, heading to the war camp.
Yeah.
Everyone else is.
Alright. I'm gonna pop to Lou now. Aha. And then we'll carry on. Just to check, Alex and Samo, you can see the map, right?
I can't see the map.
Yes.
Yeah.
Just wanna make sure while you're
don't
not
have
in
a
this.
token just yet.
Yeah,
So I
because
can't actually see like any. Yeah.
as long as you can see the map, that's fine. And you can like
Yeah,
see
yeah, I
the
can
other
see the map.
tokens, what have you.
Mhm.
Yeah, because you're not here. Moog isn't attending. This,
Yeah,
is he?
yeah.
So, yeah, cool. Just wanted to make sure you two could see while your characters are present. I'll be right back.
Yup. So how's the weather?
Fucking
I'll
boiling.
ask that same question.
Pretty
Yeah.
hot.
It is.
Hey, Alex, you want to see something dumb?
Yes.
This cat loves it when I do this. Look at- He's such a
So
dumbass
cute.
cat. Dumbass. Oh! No, come back. I didn't mean it. And so begins the arc of performance enhancing drugs.
Yes.
I mean, performance enhancing bloods.
So that's just registered what you said.
What?
Performance enhancing bloods.
Yeah.
I like it.
Man, I can increase my dexterity and my intelligence score by 3, and it also increases the max cap.
Oh, damn.
Like,
What's it like? Hill
Ooh.
giant stuff.
yeah.
That's decent.
Bro. Motherfucker went full into potions, wasn't satisfied, went into blood.
Yeah, I think it's a really good combo.
That is true.
And it's all the ruins.
Bad influence.
It wasn't even bad influence, it was force feeding blood drugs too. Alright. Sorry, I just found out that my GTRP character who desperately needs therapies therapist has just quit. So, before his first session of her. 10 out of
Well,
10.
Time for a new therapist.
Yeah,
Or no therapy at all.
probably the latter.
I think you should play Claire Obscura. I think that's all the therapy you need.
I mean, there recently was a conversation about, like, you know, using grief to force yourself to power forward, and I was like, that's some pretty good writing. Also, you three should play Claire Obscure. Calum and I are right, it's a great game.
I've heard good things.
Also, I probably spent the first, like, I don't know, 8 hours of that game just dodging and never trying parrying. As soon as you start, like, teaching yourself to parry and you get good at it,
I would recommend for any first encounters when you're fighting a boss that you don't know their attack patterns to dodge, because it's a lot more forgiving, but parrying is where it's at.
Yeah, no,
Oh, I
boss
thought it was
fights for sure.
turn-based.
It's turn-based, but, like, there's QTEs. So whenever you're
Imagine-
attacking, or like using a special ability or what have you, if you there's a little QTE that flashes up, and if you press it at the right time, you get perfect, which then like boosts its ability a little bit. And then when enemies attack you, it is turn-based still, but you can either dodge or parry, or sometimes you have to jump over their attack. Dodging and parrying is just the timing's different. So dodges gives you more time to dodge the attack, while parry has to be basically, I don't know, like the last half a second or whatever. If that, maybe it's less time than half a second.
It's so much less. It's such a fucking short window.
I mean, some attacks feel pretty damn easy to fucking parry, but yeah, some of them are like, you basically got to get it frame perfect. But right now, Sorry, I realize Alex is back now, but we're in the middle of a conversation, so fuck it. We're still pausing D&D. Right now, I've got Mael with a sword that she won in a competition, which means that she starts combat in what's it called?
Virtual stance.
Yeah, which gives her 200% extra damage on every attack. And then I have an ability that allows her to keep whatever her current stance is. So if I start combat and I don't have enough action points to keep to do my move that then stays in Virtuous, I just do that so that she gets an extra turn of Virtuous, so she can end parry and then do 200% damage on parries. And then by the time someone attacks her and she starts parrying, I then get extra action points for parrying. She can sometimes spend an entire combat in Virtuous. I'm just like, my beautiful little nuke. Also, the way I managed to do 9,999 damage in one attack is I was doing arena battles, and I've also got a is it Illumina? Is that what it's called? Yeah, Illumina.
Yeah.
On where if she's the last one standing, she always does critical hits. And then have something else that's like critical hit damage is 200% or something. So it's basically, if she does a critical hit, it's 400%, give or take, damage. If she's in Virtuous, which she always is. So I'm just like, yeah, you hit me. You tried to hit me once, and I did 9,999 damage. Dude, get fucked. It's good shit. It's good shit. Also,
I'm glad.
some of the enemies are mimes, and when you fight the mimes, you get special cosmetics as rewards. And the first reward you get for fighting the first mime is called the Baguette outfit, and it gives your character a beret and a mustache and sunglasses, and then a very French outfit. It's great. I refuse to wear it at any time other than when doing whimsical stuff like beach episodes, but it's great.
Yeah, it's a good game.
It is also very like anime feeling, which I think is a good vibe. Like it flip-flops between being traumatic as fuck and being very silly and goofy, and it balances both very well.
I do like silly.
Yeah. Anyways, you travel to the war camp, I'm assuming by horseback rather than walking.
I was gonna say that maybe walking's a better idea if we're planning on teleporting out.
Fair point. Alright, so an hour later you arrive at the camp. While you're walking there, can you give me a perception check, Sorrows and Agis, when he's back?
Mm-hmm.
That will be enough. A dirty 20. We'll wait for Agis. We walked away at the worst time. Everyone boo. Boo Calum.
Boo.
Boo.
Apollo cheese. Someone was knocking at my door.
It's okay.
Who could
Got it.
it be now?
There's somebody at the door. There's somebody at the door.
The Scipione.
Not as good. Hey,
Bro
Sorrows.
is asleep.
You notice it first as a shadow that flicks over your head as you're walking through the desert. Passes by like a cloud obscuring the sun, but it's sharper, so closest to the ground than a cloud would be. And as you look up, and this is like fairly shortly after you leave the city to head towards the camp, you see what appears to be a white dragon flying in the same direction as you are currently walking.
Remind me again.
See if
White
that
dragon
looks
is
familiar,
frost, right?
that white dragon.
You both talked at the same time.
Sorry. No good.
Am I able to recognize that white dragon?
I don't think you've ever met a white dragon, have you?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you have met a white dragon. If sure, you can with a dirty 20. It's not apparently obvious that it's the same white dragon. It looks bigger for starters.
Okay.
White dragons are frost, right?
They are indeed.
Cool.
Eyes in the sky. White dragon.
Celeste just nods his head.
fine addition to Celeste's collection.
If it wishes.
Moog isn't here, so Moog didn't say that.
Oh yeah.
He can hear me say that in his head.
Yeah.
He's like,
Tell you
Yeah,
what, maybe
Moog
the
would have
sword
said
said
that.
it.
Saying that right now.
All right. You arrive at the camp about an hour later. You walk through a large number of white tents with the black and gold badges of Viress on them. Some of them have red flags flying from them with the same badge. And yeah, it's rows upon rows upon rows of these tents. As I kind of described to Moog last session, and Moog has relayed to you, you would hazard a guess that there are several hundred troops here. They don't stop you as you walk by. Clearly they're kind of expecting visitors, but you do get a lot of wary looks, people with their hands ready at weapons but not drawing them or anything.
Just remember to stay close, yeah?
Alright.
I could have made a bitchy comment if I'd have known about you and Kytheria.
I can just imagine you being like a bitchy farmer, be like, "Oh yeah, like how close you are with my daughter, huh? Huh?"
The best thing is, Agis has been
Close enough.
a very good partner so far. He's got problems, don't get me wrong, but not when it comes to Kytheria.
I feel like all characters have problems. It's like, to be honest, Aegis more than anyone. Let's face it. But yeah,
He's had a tough time. Leave him be.
What problems has Luft had so far?
I mean, he's sad about the
Being a
dragons.
whiny little bitch. Oh,
Oh shit!
I missed the road.
Yeah, I feel like Alex could play the coolest character. He would still be like, yeah, well, the rune was cooler.
Yeah, me and the Ruin the Bros.
He'll be
Anyway,
back at some
let's
point,
get into this
maybe.
let's get into this fucking camp. Major move?
No free movement.
Okay. The catapults are quite concerning.
They're preparing for a siege, it makes sense, says Dai.
I just meant it in the stance of our defenses. Does anyone come over to, meet us
Nope.
when we walk in, or they just letting us walk in?
Just letting you walk in. But again, like, all of them have, like, hands lingering towards weapons, wary of you, but not any of them are drawing them. They're all just kind of watching you.
Can I roll perception to see if there's maybe some weapon stockpile or anything that they're kind of trying to make a little less obvious? Maybe like barrels of explosive powder or something like that.
Sure.
It's a good thought.
Damn it, that was almost a 19.
Not anything that you see.
Okay.
I'll sort of raise my voice a bit to the person up in the tower and say, "You wouldn't happen to be able to point us in the direction to make Parlay?"
The archer looks down at you and then points all the way to the east. Says, "Oh, the big tent at the end."
Thank you.
They nod, and they already had not like pull back on the string, but they already had like an arrow sitting on the string, so you know they could just pull it back if they needed to. As you say thank you and turn to start walking towards the tent, you notice them just pull out another arrow and like hold it in the hand that's holding the bow, so they can quick fire if they need to.
Okay. I mean, not that it would probably make any difference, but I'll still have the staff in the quiver.
Damn, you're not even gonna go for the old man and his walking stick bit?
Well, I'm not exactly an old man, am I? And I can't exactly say that next to the blind man.
You could do a Willy Wonka bit. Pretend like you have a limp and then just like suddenly the cane drops and you do a roly-poly on the floor.
I will say, talking about age, A Song of Ice and Fire's tabletop role-playing game has a very interesting mechanic, which is that if you play a young character, you get like loads of like, I can't remember what they're called, but basically like you're better in combat and what have you, in the sense of like you're younger and you're faster and what have you, you have more hit points. But if you play an older character, you just basically get to have loads of the equivalent of feats and what have you, because you're old and wise, but you're much more likely to die quicker because you're old.
Cool.
It's an interesting concept where it's like, an old person knows more, which means that they, in theory, should be able to do better in combat, but they are also slower and weaker, so...
It's one of the things I like about the Star Wars saga species thing is that if you're a certain age, you'll get like bonuses.
Mm-hmm. And negatives.
Sweet. Sweet to
Yeah.
bring that game up, because I was thinking about that game today, Pete, actually. Because I
What?
do have it, and I never played it that much.
What, the Song of Ice and Fire tabletop?
Oh, wait, no, I'm thinking less than that. I thought you were talking about there's another Game of Thrones RPG video game.
Yeah.
Where it has that, where you
Ah.
basically, like, your age matters, and you have like negative traits and negative traits. You can have good traits and stuff like that, which is pretty cool. It's
Didn't
probably
know that.
ass, but I like the character creation.
This is the first person you've seen, by the way, with the weapon out, but they appear to just be sharpening it. And they just, like, look up at you all as you walk by.
How do you want to play this, Celeste?
What do you mean?
First impressions and all? Do you want one of us to introduce you, or are you going to go in yourself?
He kind of just, like, scratches the back of his head, and Dai then pipes up. It is normally customary for a king to have a herald who announces them.
Well volunteered, Di.
Very well. You then hear Celeste mutter, fucking king.
Hey man, I'm second in command. I'm a hype man now.
Poor Celeste is just like, I just want to live my life.
That was Di's cue to go in first.
Alright. Dai approaches the flaps, flings them open, walks in. Your Royal Majesty, you hear him call out in a booming voice so that it echoes out through the tent. Oh, one thing as well I should note before continuing, sorry. Sorrows, with your 20 from before, I'm going to allow you one other bit of information with that perception check. Which is that the white dragon you saw earlier is perched on the cliff above the tent.
Oh, okay.
I'll put them there so you can see them. Just about.
Okay.
Your Royal Majesty, my name is Dai. I am a wizard in the service of our leader, Celeste, first of his name. He takes a step to the side and kind of gestures with pulling the flap back that you should all walk in now.
Can I try and push Celeste forward so he goes in first?
Yeah,
Get out of there, Celeste. You're a crazy old man. A crazy dude.
Celeste walks in. He just kind of clears his throat and gives them a nod. Welcome, says the man sitting in the chair here. I'm sorry, I'm not familiar with your bloodline, he says, looking at Celeste. Didn't realize I was in the presence of another royal, but with your herald, maybe I'm wrong. You're not, Your Highness. Curious. He turns to the man in the mask. This is King Lucilius Ekadel, fourth of his name, King of the Kingdom of Viress. The man in front of you, the man sitting in the chair, he is wearing very, very fine-looking metal armor with golden inlays and what looks like a sort of sapphire buckler, where like the pauldron would attach on the right arm. I say as I'm gesturing at my left arm. And by his side, he has what looks to be a very fancy-looking longsword. The man who just announced him is wearing black and gold armor, kind of reminiscent of this region, especially with the kind of like the helmet and cloth shawl. He wears a mask that kind of resembles the jaw of a skull, also made of gold, and most noticeably, what at first looks like a heavily armored right arm, at second glance appears to be an entirely metal prosthetic made of gold.
That's cool.
He also, while wearing mostly black, does have the little hints of red in his clothing that give the hint that he's probably an Inquisitor. And then behind you are two other people dressed in what appears to be sort of Azamori garb. Go ahead and roll me an insight on these two. Nat 20 from Sorrows. Alright, Sorrows, you will have heard stories of these lot, maybe seen them once in your lifetime. They're not common in the Azamori army. They are blackguards, essentially heavily proficient in armed combat, paladins, so also have spells.
We're so fucking screwed, boys.
Oh,
Gotta
7.
hate you.
The masked figure then says, and introducing our mediary. And he gestures to the kind of shadowy area of the tent back here. High Inquisitor Zebeth from the Kingdom of Azamor.
Oh shit.
Motherfucker.
Oh shit.
Give me
Oh
back my
god,
daughter.
we're so fucked. We're so fucked.
Oh shit! Oh, I just had a little idea. Here it is.
He walks over and stands by this chair, just putting his hands in the back of it. At long last we meet. A pleasure, he says to all four of you. Please, make yourselves at home. You notice there are not enough chairs for all of you, by the way. There are not enough chairs for any of you, because the masked figure then walks over and takes this seat next to Zebeth.
Wait, who was the masked figure again? Who was
He
that?
has not introduced himself, but he was the one who introduced the king and Zebeth, and appears to be
Oh,
dressed
so he's not
in...
one of the knights, and he's not the king.
Correct.
Well, from
Okay,
the
okay.
garb, he appears to maybe be an inquisitor.
Yeah. I mean, usually Inquisitors wear more red than him, but the black and red are the kind of Inquisitor colors.
Okie dokie. Yeah, I have to kind of ask these questions because I can't see the tokens.
Oh, can
that's
you not
good.
see the tokens?
Fine. Yeah, that's what I meant earlier. But I thought that was like so I don't actually know who I'm talking to.
No. I asked you whether you could see the tokens, and you said yes. So
Oh, okay. No, my bad.
that's fine.
Wait, can you see the tokens, Alex?
No.
Oh, okay. I thought it was... No.
I would like to be. I'd like to make a statement in retort to their statement of not leaving a
There you
chair.
Thank you.
Can I grab this chest and drag it over behind Celeste so he's got a makeshift chair?
Sure.
Better not be a fucking mimic.
They fell for our trap. Get 'em, boys.
You very loudly and pointedly drag the chair at the chest, which would make him slightly lower down than them if he sits down, but it's still like, you know, it is a chair at the very least. And Celeste will just kind of like look back at you and give you a nod, which is somewhere between the mix of thank you and what the fuck are you doing, dude?
Fair enough.
He will take his sword off of his back and place it down, leant against the table, just like the king has. Zebeth still has his sword at his side.
Yeah, don't make him fucking pull that out, Jesus.
Why, are you worried if Zebeth pulls out his sword?
Yes.
You haven't
What
seen
level
him in
is that
combat yet.
motherfucker? Like 78?
He might be a pushover. You haven't seen him in combat yet, because I totally
Yeah.
thought I totally thought that Zila was going to try and fight him rather than join him, and I thought you'd get to see him in combat, but nah.
Now the pussy.
Well, you two have been introduced, but why don't the rest of you introduce yourselves? He says, walking around the chair and sitting down on it, putting his boots up on the table as he does, and then gesturing for you three to introduce yourselves. Well, I guess not you three. Dai's already introduced himself as the emissary, didn't he? So yeah, Agis and Sorrows.
I am Agis Sorrows.
Agis, advisor to Celeste.
Your court grows, says Zebeth. An advisor and a mage, and I'm guessing you're the brute.
You can call me a problem solver.
Good. We have a problem to solve. Let's be clear about my reason for being. Aasimar have sent me as a mediary, which is to say, currently, an ally of Aasimar has asked for our help because there is a group of upstarts who've laid siege to the palace and taken it over. The king here would like me to send the full might of Arzamor, surround the city, and hope that you would surrender. And I said, let's not force our hand just yet. If we do that, you could do one of a dozen things. You could decide to raise the city with that little dragon of yours, couldn't you? Or you could choose to see whether you could outweight us, starve the city as you do, or you could force our hand or our patience until eventually we lay siege, in which case hundreds, if not thousands of people will die, innocent people. So I said, let's have a conversation first. After all, we're all gentlemen here. I'm sure there's some way we can come to an understanding with our words.
Yes, Cap.
So, you occupy the palace of Oris, the sister city of Viress. You've deposed the governor there. What are your intentions? Do you plan to make it your city, your little haven for your rebellion? Celeste looks uneasy and then just says, we didn't exactly plan to take it over. Ah, I love those accidental coups that happen. Happens to the best of us. Okay, so you didn't mean to take it over. Perhaps, perhaps you don't want it. Would you willingly give up Oris to our Grand King Lucilius here? Celeste looks to you as a group for guidance. Remember, the main reason why Jarl didn't instantly bounce from Oris is that you saw how bad it is, and you're pretty sure it will just be as bad, if not worse, if you leave. But, do you want to have a city that you're running? Do you want to use it as a haven? What are your intentions with my city? You're muted, Cal.
Fuck. Now Zebo's here, ooh. Just like a small yappy dog, my tail is now in between my legs, and I no longer wish to be in this scenario.
Can I roll perception?
Mm-hmm.
See if I.
What are you trying to perceive with that 12?
Agis.
Yeah, sure, you can
What's my
perceive
boy
Agis.
doing?
Agis is perceived despite him no longer wearing his high visibility jacket.
But can I tell
on,
he's
man. How does
shitting
it work?
himself?
What do you say, sorry, Tommy?
Can I tell that he's shitting his pants right now?
You can tell he's nervous, yeah.
Yeah, I'm not like shitting myself in fucking terror, but I know that the situation has just changed, and the odds are very not in our favor.
I can't remember because I know that I've seen him on a different character. But has Sorrows come across Zebeth yet?
None of you have ever met Zebeth face to face. The only person who ever did before the Zila special was Zila. However, you have heard the name before. You know he is the head of the Inquisitors, so the head of the Dragonriders. You know he's supposedly the Chosen of Dusk, which also makes him, if he is supposedly the Son of Dusk, that makes him technically Celeste's cousin. And
Does Celeste know that?
I think Celeste does know that because it's been established through the ruined that they're all related, I'm pretty sure.
No, he doesn't.
Oh, okay. Celeste does not know that. And also, when he met Zila for the first time, it was him beheading the Inquisitor that you had kidnapped. And then, so you couldn't, like, interrogate them. But then giving you a scroll of Speak with Dead and being like, you can ask a couple of questions to him, though, I guess.
Yeah, he's a nice guy.
You know, because I think I asked about that before, and you said that he didn't know, because I was going to send him a message calling him cousin, and then I was like, well, if he doesn't know, there's no point, because that would just confuse things.
You can call him, like, Kerr.
Kerr?
Kerr.
What's up,
What up,
cuz?
Kerr?
Sup, cuz?
Was good, Dragon Homie?
Dragon homie. Don't say it again.
But yeah, so the last thing that Zebeth asked is what are your plans with Oris? Like, if you don't want it, then why don't you give it back, sort of thing.
Are any of us allowed to answer? Or...
Yeah, Celeste has looked to you lot for support, so.
Okay. While it never was our intention to take over the city, the state that it was in when we arrived, we saw a reason to help.
Reason to help? They're just good Samaritans. Your Majesty, says Zebeth, turning to the king. By all means, voice what problems you saw. Let the king address them.
I don't remember there was bad shit going on.
It's mainly the massive divide between rich and poor. Like, most of the city is in poverty. And then you have things like the palace being really, really lavish.
Sounds like a bitch to me. Sorry.
There is a noticeable divide between the rich and the poor in that city. We know of its connection to Azamor. And we've also seen what Azamor has done in other cities. Whether that's outwardly or discreetly.
So, let me make sure I understand this, says the king. You've occupied my city because you disagree with the disbursement of coin, and because of my connection with Azam.
Disbursement of coin is just the beginning. We liberated this city because we fear what that will become.
Liberated. You hear this? They're your enemy too, Zebeth. Azamor's enemy. That alone should be enough for you to come in and squash this little resistance. How many men do you have, anyway? Yeah.
Why would we tell you a thing?
Not enough, he says with a smirk. Yes. I'm concerned that you might be right, my liege, says Zebeth, smiling at the king. Alle sorrows. Agis Forven. And Celeste, you are all escaped slaves, are you not? That's where this all started, your little resistance.
That is true.
And you, he says, gesturing at Dai. I notice you are blind. You did not introduce yourself as Celeste's Oracle, but I presume you are. You see, my king, they may be small in number, but he has the makings of a great court. Viress does not even have a court oracle anymore. Am I correct? The king just sternly shakes his head. Arzamor does, though, he says, getting up out of his chair. In fact, Arzamor's had several. Unfortunately, some of them end up getting executed when they tell us things that certain people don't like. I don't approve of it. I think it's a waste of good resources, but some of the council members are quick to anger. I love talking to oracles, though. I find oracular study to be fascinating. Has he ever explained to you how his gifts work? Celeste shakes his head. If you think you know how it works, then by all means, I know some people have asked before, but I don't think Celeste has ever asked. So if Soros is confident that he knows how he thinks it works, feel free to pipe up. But
Yeah, I'm just gonna stay stone faced for this.
Agis?
Yeah, no, I'll stay silent.
Well, let me explain. As was explained to me by one of our oracles, the Fates write a song. That song predicts the future, right? And oracles, they're able to see the song sheet, so to speak. But in its vagaries, we know where the song's going, but not who sings which part, not who plays which instrument, not even necessarily the beat. Different oracles can see with different levels of clarity depending on the capabilities, and the closer you get to the thing that you're foreseeing, of course, the more solid it becomes. I would wager, if I wanted to try and slice your oracle's throat, he would be able to see it before I did it. Not sure how much it would help, of course. So, when an oracle predicts something big, something major, something that a king or a queen or a council would want, they usually phrase it in a vague way, because they are not certain themselves, but also because the very nature of prophecy means it's flexible. Let me give you an example, my king, he says, gesturing to Lucidius. If I was an oracle and I predicted that my friend here, he gestures at the masked man, Akarat, will kill you tonight as you dine. It's a very solid prophecy. You know who and you know when. I might even prophesize how. That's very hard to wiggle out of, which means that if I'm prophesizing it, I better be damn sure that I'm right. Otherwise, an angry king or queen or council or village or whoever I'm prophesizing to might decide to kill me for getting it wrong. But if I'm prophesizing something vague enough, it also means that the fates themselves can adjust the song to accommodate. I might know when you're going to die, but if I don't tell you who, where, when, or why. It's why most kings who've been prophesied to die, it's usually they'll die from wounds of battle. Pretty predictable, right? He kind of sits half on the table and looks over at your group. Now, your little resistance, led by my cousin here, he says, smiling at Celeste. You have a wonderful prophecy about you. I've spoken to 3 different oracles. They've all given me the same answer. Do you know what they say about you? Has your oracle told you your future, Celeste? No, I didn't think so. Oh, it's a somber one. It's a somber one to know. Even if you think you're a good person, that by just existing, you're destined. Well, I'll just say it. Celeste will be king one day. That is part of the prophecy. Congratulations. You'll get to wear a crown. Your little court will come to fruition. You'll drink wine. But also, you will be the cause of a great empire falling. Now, of course, everyone in Osmore's council is very, very, very concerned about that. Hazard to guess the Eladrin and Valar are worried about it too, and maybe even the elves. The dwarves don't have an oracle, so I don't think the drow do either last I checked, but neither does Viress. So, I'm sorry, my king, you're learning this at the same time they are. But again, prophecy has a beautiful level of flexibility. So, I'm afraid I'm not actually here to mediate. My king,
Oh, shit.
Aasimar will not be lending you any support in the war to come. The only way that you'll get your city back is by making peace talks with them yourselves, which I don't think you have the mettle for. Or by laying siege to them. Celeste, you might choose to leave, try and outrun that little prophecy of yours. We'll see what happens. But if you stay, well, Viress is a great empire. Sorry. She was. I feel like we're in our waning days. And once you've wrought destruction, then I'll kill you. So, best of luck, he says with a smile. The king is just kind of gobsmacked that this guy who was supposed to just like unequivocally give him support has just been like, yeah, get fucked, loser.
That's such a fucking baller move as well. Holy shit.
Chad guy.
Fuck, man.
How are
That's
you lot
crazy.
reacting as Ziva finishes his little monologue?
I'm fucking dumbfounded, man.
Go, Zebeth, go.
I've taken performance enhancing from drugs to increase my brain activity, but I can't even fathom what the fuck just happened.
Basically, if you try and fight them taking over the city, you
Oh no,
will...
I know that. It's just like just everything that's just gone on in my mind. I'm like,
Yeah,
I did not expect that.
He's basically gone like, hey, your group can either give up your position of power, in which case, you're a little bit fucked, or you can hold on to it and you will fuck over this kingdom. Have fun.
Yeah.
Anyways, with that, Zebeth just turns and draws his sword from its scabbard.
Oh, shit.
And he does 2 slashes in the air, a slash down and a
Yes.
slash across.
Virgil.
And he steps through a tear in space and disappears.
Thank you, Nero. My bad.
A few moments later, you hear as a dragon flies off.
Wait, he could have just walked out the tent and then gone to the
Yeah,
dragon.
but that's less cool. It's less cool walking past all of you lot after.
Have you considered that he's the fucking storm that's approaching?
Have you considered that
That is true.
this guy, he has what's it called? He is that bitch. He's got that boss bitch energy. All right.
Yeah, he's that fucking guy.
Bro is gonna judgment cut us if we fight him.
The king very shakily stands up from his chair and leans heavily on the table. What deal did you make with him? Celeste looks to either of you two to see if you want to pipe up, and then if not, he has something he can say. But yeah.
I mean, that's the first time we've met him in person, but if Celeste got something cool to say.
Celeste just, yeah, alright. Celeste will just say, well, at least we're on the same page about what happens when you ally yourself with Azamor. And then he, like, swallows and stands up, kicking the, not kicking, but, like, pushing with his foot the chest back behind him. If that prophecy is correct, you're going to be the cause of the end of my kingdom. I won't allow that to happen, says the king, furrowing his brow.
Can I roll insight?
Sure. What are you trying to insight?
Whether it's time to go or not.
You don't get the sense he's immediately going to attack you, but you do.
Oh.
I fucked that up. Oh god, I accidentally deleted Agis. Was trying to delete fake
Just let me
Celeste.
back.
Sorry, I was trying to
Go
fix
back.
something with stream. And then I broke it apparently. There we go. Yeah, no, you don't get the sense he's about to like draw his sword and try and attack you, but you do get the sense that he's like negotiations might be over.
Yeah.
He with that 8, you know, that's what I'm gonna give you.
Yeah, that's fine.
Right.
Celeste is also gonna roll an insight though. Got a dirty 20. It occurs to me, my king, that the only guarantee of your kingdom falling is you trying to fight us. That's not what he said. He said you would be the cause of an empire to fall. If I let you stay, that might also be the truth. The only way to secure my kingdom's safety is for you to die before that prophecy can come to pass.
I don't need an insight for that one, do I?
Nope. Celeste just
Cool,
kind
I'm
of gives
pulling-
a kind of like,
I'm pulling out the
okay,
staff.
yep. Yeah, Celeste's hand starts to go towards his sword as that happened. As that's said, what Sorrow's doing as this is said.
What was it he said?
The only way to stop that prophecy from coming to pass is killing Celeste before it happens. Which, also, if you want, you can roll insight checks on that, or just like intelligence checks if you want to, you two.
I mean, yeah, I'll roll insight if it's offered. I feel like it's pretty cookie cutter what he wants, but
No, this is more just to like work out a logic thing. You might not have time to explain this logic to this guy, but yeah, both of you are like, that's not quite how that works. If he's been, if it's been specifically prophesied that he will be the cause of a fall of an empire, technically that means that he can't die, well, unless his death is the cause of the fall of an empire. Like, you know, you can't.
Yeah, no matter what, he's screwed up. But
yeah, it's just it might.
You can't see it that way.
It might not be his empire that falls, but he can't see a way to get out of that situation.
Listen. You asked us.
Okay, sorry, real quick pause. Sorrows is saying listen as Celeste is going to draw his sword and die, and sorry, Agis was going to draw his staff. Agis, as you hear Sorrows start to talk, are you stopping what you're doing, or are you just going, fuck this shit, we're out? Because if so, Sorrows is getting teleported mid-sentence. He says listen, just a flash of light.
I'm gonna be real with you. Tom. We're getting the fuck out of here. I ain't risking shit. We're gone.
It feels like a very Sorrows move to just be like, listen. Okay. Never mind then.
Now hold your damn horse and disappear. Yeah, no, I'm doing it. We're bamfing. We're gonna have a.
Alright, cast teleport with your staff so it uses the charges. And let's hope you don't roll like shit on the teleport.
I mean, we've been there for like.
Yeah, no,
I've been there for like a month now. So.
Yeah, it should be real easy. You are absolutely. It is absolutely a. I would say it's not really an associated object because there's no object associated with it, but it's very familiar. So you need to get a 25 to a 100 to land perfectly in the palace.
Okay, and that's a.
D100.
What? D100.
Yeah.
I don't roll anything for this, do I? Other than the D100.
Just the D100. 76. That is higher than 25.
I don't know why I'm Celeste, but there we are.
Yep. I think that's because I've given everyone ownership of Celeste so that
okay, that's fair enough.
People could see it. Cool. You cast teleport and you all just bamf the fuck out of there.
Yeah, sorry, Tom. When a king goes, maybe I need to kill you in order to to stop this prophecy happening. We're fucking out.
Understandable.
Now we just got to hold until the fucking orc army gets her.
Yeah. Can you see how the finale of this campaign might be shaping up to be?
That was such a fucking cool ass thing for Zenith to do, to come in as a mediator and then go, you know, there's a prophecy that this guy's gonna fucking take over the empire, so I'm just gonna leave you guys to it.
It wasn't even a take over an empire. It's a he's gonna cause the ruin of an empire. I'd rather be yours than mine. So fuck you. If he causes the fall of your one, then technically the prophecy's off the table.
That was very cool. Also, didn't expect to see him.
Yeah. Maybe one day you'll get to fight Zebeth.
No! No, bad. Bad.
I mean, genuinely, you might not, because, like, one of the things I thought about when we were designing this campaign is, like, how do I make a campaign where you are intricately involved in the main, like, the main plot? Like, I was like, we could just tell a story that's taking place at the same time as Celeste's life. And that could be interesting in and of itself, but it's more interesting, I think, to be involved in the main world plot, which means being there with Celeste, right? But I was like, how do I make sure that you all feel like you have plot agency and like you're involved and what have you, if none of you are Celeste? And the conclusion I came to is it's basically going to be King Arthur, but you're playing the Knights of the Round Table. So like it's the night. This isn't the story of King Arthur. This is the story of the Knights of the Round Table. But like King Arthur is obviously still a major character in any story to do with the Knights of the Round Table, right? So that was kind of logic I went with, and you're like his advisors and what have you, and your decisions help shape what sort of king he's going to be. So genuinely, you might never fight Zebeth, because Celeste is definitely going to fight Zebeth at some point. Whether you're there with him or whether he's going to try and solo Zebeth is kind of up to your guys' choices, I guess.
I mean, if the ruin comes back, I think one of us is definitely fighting Zebeth.
I think the Ruined versus Zebeth would be a very cool fight. I'm not sure the Ruined would win. I'm sorry. If it's 1v1.
I think the ruined would find a way.
Okay, well... I mean, I'm just saying
What about
this.
it?
Technically, if Agis ever ends up in a duel with Zebeth, he does have a guaranteed way to just not die, at the very least.
Oh, no, it's just a guaranteed fuck you, Zebeth cracks.
No,
cracks.
you also have the crack in the staff feature.
Yeah.
You can continue to just abuse that to not die if you want to. It's just, you know, what's going to happen when the staff finally cracks.
Or I could just break it and we both blow up.
Yeah.
fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Whew. Well, I guess we appear at the...
Yeah, so, full disclosure, Alex has said that he has to go at 10, so we only have 30 minutes left. I feel like this is probably a good place to end it, is with you bamfing back into the palace, and then we can pick up the aftermath of that scene when we get back, rather than trying and compress it all into, like, 10 minutes or so. Does that sound good?
Yeah, I don't mind.
Alright. Cool.
Unless there's anything them two want to do while we're off.
Yeah, is there
excursion.
anything you two wanted to do while waiting to see if your friends die?
I didn't really have anything in mind. I think like the only thing I probably would have done is just like gone round and sort of checked on civilians and stuff, because I think we're going to need to start thinking about that if we're going to be sieged. Like, you know, maybe we should start taking stock of like how many people there are in this town that we need to actually, like, you know, maybe protect and think about protecting, or
Love to go
telling
try and work out
them
how
to
do a
get into their
census.
homes and stuff. Yeah, I'm gonna go around and basically get I think that actually is a downtime where you can get like a lay of the land and
Yeah,
like
it's what you did last time, basically.
yeah, oh right, yeah. I'll basically just keep doing that then, and I'll sort of start putting together a plan to like
Okay.
help the civilians if it comes to that.
No
So
rolls this
we've
time,
fought-
but we
we've
can
fought bigger
deal with
stuff,
that
but we haven't-
kind of stuff next session as well. Cool. Sam, was there anything in particular you wanted to do?
Little baby.
You're muted.
I did, yeah, but I think that's also best to do for next session because I don't know how long that takes, so I'm fine with doing that next session.
Okay. Also, I found a little document that I'd forgotten I had, and I just want to test something real quick. Damn. Oh, hold on. Is this how I do it? Aha. Yeah, this is kind of cool. I forgot I could do this. Don't actually click it, but I can like request you to do specific roles rather than just tell you to roll. Not sure I'll ever use it, but it's just like it's a prompt to like actually hit a certain DC and what have you. That's kind of neat.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's just a document I found while trying to find another document. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot I set that up at the beginning of this fucking campaign and I've never used it. All right. I think that's where we're going to end it. You can all have an extra 500 XP for getting to that milestone of all of you having met Zebeth now.
Nice.
Not all of you in your current characters, but all of you have met Zebeth now. I guess all of you had met Zebeth during Zealous Special, but whatever.
Okay.
Poggers.
Have I told you what level Zebeth is?
I think you did. I forgot what exactly it was, but I remember it being
I want to say
very high.
15, but it's probably 20.
I think it was 20 also floats in my head, but
Yeah, it's high, I'll say that much.
Also, could I perchance maybe ask for a bonding die between Luft and Soros?
Very,
That's the same thing.
very good idea. Yeah, you can both have a bonding die.
That's a good point.
Yeah, Gion is 27 XP away from leveling up.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, she better fucking level up before the big fight. What the fuck?
Does she get 27 XP for getting a cuddle?
No.
I'd say that's a nice experience.
Yeah, but as we all know from tabletop role playing, positive experiences don't make you better at stuff. Only negative experiences like combat or trauma. So if anything, she loses XP because of it.
Soros might have squeezed her too tight.
Big old bear hug.
Yeah. Could have died.
Agis should be level 20 by now.
I can squeeze you too tight as well, especially if I find out about Etheria.
Yeah, well. Alrighty. Thank you everyone for watching. Hope you had a wonderful time. We'll be back hopefully next week. For prepping for a siege. And then the siege will probably be the week after that. It'll probably give you an entire session just to prep. Work out exactly what you're going to do.
Gulp.
And then we're going to have the polar opposite of Helm's Deep, where it's going to be in the middle of the day with no rain. Very well lit. But, yeah.
The ground will become mud with the blood of our enemies.
Okay, the ruined.
Says love to doesn't kill a person.
Alright. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Bye.